So what you want? Every day I struggle with it. Only God could tell me slipping. I'm infinitely big through the Genesis. Dead presidents, drop a gem on them. On earth, these the last days. Throw your get money, quiet storm. Have a thoughts for the cream renegade. For the money, only green is the. I'm a player on the late night tips. So see the prototype. Fingertips, reservoir dog. To the skull, ignorant. Can I live?
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with that, let's get you up to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, and Heinz Field. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis, thrilled to be with you from the broadcast booth. And partner, before we get this thing started, what are you going to be watching?
Who gets off to a fast start? In horse racing terms, they talk about catching a flyer out of the gate. Who sets the pace and makes the other team chase?
It's an old-school battle in the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. The Eagles and the Steelers are underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. As we get a peek at the number 2 overall pick from the 2016 draft, standing at 6'5", Carson Wentz.
Not only does he look the part, he plays it as well. Tall, prototypical-looking pocket passer with better athletic ability than what people think. Gets outside of the pocket and makes big plays downfield.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now.
They go play action here on first down. Hurts over the middle. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage that's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books. But now they have to make that up again, don't they?
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. 9 big yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. And finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you offside. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week.
Still 3rd down.
Through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
Well, that's a tough, costly penalty because now it makes it 3rd and 6 after the false start. From the gun, it's Wentz. And this is Hurts with it, right side. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. First carry for James Conner. Gets out of a little bit of trouble there with a shifty move. He'll take it up past the 6. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on 1st down.
Roethlisberger will hand to Conner. He's got room to run past the 20. Finally taken down at the 32-yard line. 25 yards to pick up there, and also a 1st down.
Dance class, anyone? Did you see the steps between the quarterback and the running back?
That's what you need for a good counter.
You have to have it because you're setting up your blocking. There's a timing element as well, but they have to marry up their steps. Otherwise, that timing gets thrown out the window.
Timing was great there and a big run. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Roethlisberger. To the right side to Eric Ebron. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A Steeler 1st down on a pickup of 11 yards.
But from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on there heals a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
A couple of 1st downs, has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10.
Black 20. Black a second.
They'll throw on 1st down with Roethlisberger. Incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Second and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. And he hits his tackle and he will. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Give him 30 yards there.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, first and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Had a nice broken tackle and then brought down right around the 20. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Someone's looking fresh, and his own line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block. If you're an offensive lineman, nice early burst, nice gain too.
Whistles here before the snap, and it looks like one of the Steelers may have moved.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still second down.
They were looking good on second down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Ready? Black 80. Black is third.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. And Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. And the tight end, Zach Ertz, is key in this offense as we get a look at the starters.
Comes out of the factory known as Stanford, which keeps putting out tight ends. Zach Ertz, one of the better ones we've seen in recent years.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time. And now it's 3rd down. And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Working from the gun, Wentz. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
That first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this will be taken at the 13. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And now out come the Steelers. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal. And I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
And maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And he is going to be wrapped up and slung to the turf. Derek Barnett in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. And Duke Riley will get credit for the tackle.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, You're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. 3-0 is our score. More from the Steel City coming up after this. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Ebron's got it. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
On 4th down, here comes a Steeler punter, Jordan Berry, to kick it away. Oh, and a 360. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now they try the right side here. Shrugs the tackle. Nice. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the 2nd half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Wentz again here on 2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally would do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. It's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on third down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And the Steelers set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They start with a give to Connor, and he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Here's Connor, and an alley to run. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Now Roethlisberger on first down. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Brandon Graham in there to get him for a loss of 5.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. They run with Connor. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves him with 14 yards still to go on 3rd down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
On 3rd down, that's Connor. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down.
Personal foul Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Automatic
You're
first
right.
down.
They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
Set. 180. Back and back.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Set. Blue 30. Back and back.
2nd and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Set. Black 5. Black and 6.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And another one thrown incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Here's Jordan Berry now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
On 1st down, Wentz. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he's able to get up here to the 26. A gain of 6 there on 1st. The Eagles hustling to the line, clock rolling. Wentz to throw on 2nd down. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And the Steelers signal for another timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. The Eagles send out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. It's taken to the 26. A good return there, 17 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10.
Hey, that? Like 20?
Now Roethlisberger. Ebron caught left side. And he is taken down deep in Philadelphia territory. A big play there just before halftime. And even 40 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down.
Set! Blue 30!
From the red zone now, here's Roethlisberger on 1st down. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
That is caught at the 7. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. To throw again is Roethlisberger. Got his man, it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. In for the score. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. Boswell good with the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. 13 seconds, the time remaining in the half as they come up on first down. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Shotgun now for Wentz. It's over the middle. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes a timeout. And now we're set to get going. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Go. Waiting.
A final shot before half for Wentz. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has been a hard-hitting affair to this point, and you got to expect we'll see more of the same in the second half. And to bring the action your way, let's get it right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Like 80.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Set, like 30.
On 2nd down, here's Roethlisberger. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Derek Barnett in there to to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
We are seeing two really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Set. 180.
Instead, they go empty backfield as they'll look to throw. Going up top. He's got him in. Complete. He's at the 30. 20. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there. 92 yards. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Boswell for the extra point. Extra point put through by Boswell. And that makes our score 17-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
If these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
That's right. There we go. Back. Waiting.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to find Deshaun Jackson that time. And it's 3rd down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now Wentz on 3rd down. And Jeffrey's got it. That first catch for Jeffrey. Good enough for a 1st down. They've really been able to contain Alshon Jeffrey. That catch a rare exception in this game.
And that's a feather in their cap because he's such a tone setter for his team on offense that they try and get him the ball early. And, of course, what comes after that is often. And for them to limit him and him not catch a ball until the second half, it's a big reason why his team is behind on the scoreboard.
They go play action here on first down. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Well, they get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. Buying time to his left. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well, what we call those broken plays? You can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Before he was planted in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Stephon Tuitt came out of Notre Dame as another one of those really tall defensive ends, and you just wonder, would they be able to have the leverage to bend and make plays? I think he just gave us an answer with that tackle.
Eagles on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
That's a tremendous group effort there because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done. And they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Boston Scott, his first carry. Stopped short of the 25. The nice move couldn't ultimately free him. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
They'll run with a former Badger. It's Corey Clement. They'll be brought down at the 21 after a pickup of 4.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Go. Waiting.
Now flags come in here. Looked like one of the Eagles might have moved.
False start, offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. Well, that's a tough, costly penalty because now it makes it 3rd and 6 after the false start.
Go.
From the gun, it's Wentz. And this is going to be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Now to try the Eagle field goal, Jake Elliott. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. And Elliott puts this one through. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing. But they definitely need to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. Out of return. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. The drive will start with Connor, and he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. We've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. Ebron with it over the middle. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things